So I'm here with the executive chef of Clyde's, John Durna, who's going to show us how he makes diver sea scallops. John, take it away.
Okay. We have our diver sea scallops here, our fresh tagliatelle, our Mizuna, truffle butter, truffle peelings, tomatoes, chopped garlic, sliced leek, and wild mushrooms. So start with a hot pan. We're going to start with our, we're going to sear our mushrooms. I like to put the mushrooms in first so you don't splash yourself when you add the oil.
That's smart. You know, I never even thought of that.
So you don't want to fidget with the mushrooms too much because they release a lot of liquid, so you want to get a nice sear on them. Once you start to hear the searing starting, I like to season them a little bit. A little cracked pepper, some salt. Draws out the flavor.
And what type of oil do you use?
I use a grapeseed blend.
Oh, really?
It has a high smoking point. Don't want to use olive oil because it has a low smoking point, it'll burn, and then you get the burnt flavor in your food. So once you hear a lot more crackling, you want to take a nice flip. You want to get a nice even sear on all sides of the mushrooms.
I don't know about that whole flipping thing.
Once you turn the mushrooms over, you want to turn your heat down a little bit so you don't burn the mushrooms. Once the sear and caramelization starts, it kind of takes care of itself.
Okay.
So now my dish is almost halfway done, so I want to make sure my scallop pan is getting nice and hot.
Okay.
So now I'm going to add the sliced leek and chopped garlic. About a quarter teaspoon of garlic and about a tablespoon of the leek. Start to shake it around. You don't really want to sear the garlic, you want to just sweat all the flavors out.
Okay.
So at this point we're going to add our 4 ounces of mushroom stock. And just return it to the heat. And we're going to reduce this by half, about medium-high heat. At this point we can add our truffle breakings. It's about a tablespoon. And we can add our tomatoes.
Grape tomatoes?
They're organic baby grape, it's like a blend. There's some sun gold. There's a red pear in there. So what we're doing by reducing the mushroom stock, we're fortifying our sauce, getting the richness out. And by this, it also draws all the flavor out of the mushrooms, takes on the flavor of the truffles, and we get a nice sweetness from the tomatoes.
Okay.
So now
it smells really good.
Yeah. So our pan for our scallop is nice and hot. What we're going to do now is season the scallops with a little bit of salt and a little white pepper. You want to make sure this is the last thing you do before cooking your scallops, because too much salt will draw out the water and you won't be able to sear the scallops. So we just
Those are big scallops.
Yeah. Add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of grapeseed. I like to see a little bit of smoking, and you know your pan is nice and hot. So we bring our scallops to the pan, drop the seasoned side down. Want to try to place the scallops in the pan away from you, so you're not splashing back. And you want to hear a nice crackling and sizzling. That way you know you're getting a nice sear. And you don't want to fidget with them at all. You
just let them sit.
Yeah, you start to move them, it cools the pan down, and then you start to boil them. And you come back with a little bit of salt on top for a nice even seasoning. So we're just about reduced by half on your sauce. So we're going to add the truffle butter.
What's in that truffle butter?
It's truffle essence. There's black truffle shavings. There's white truffle oil and a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt.
Okay. Now to make this at home, can you actually go to the store and buy truffle? Oh, you can.
A lot of There's a lot of supermarkets carry it. I was really surprised.
Truffle butter?
Yeah.
Really?
They sell it in 4-ounce containers, or we have an 8-ounce that I like. I think now they even do a 2-ounce.
Oh, great. Okay.
It's not that expensive. You know, it's pretty affordable. A little bit goes a long way. So I just want to add a little more black pepper and just a little more salt. So what I like to do is I look at the bottom of the scallop, and you can see
it's brown.
A little bit of caramelization going. So I just pick one and look at it, and they can go. They can go a little more, a little harder to sear. But it's a good indication when you start to see the browning around the edge.
Yes.
That you're very close. So at this point, I'm going to add my pasta.
What type of pasta is that?
It's tagliatelle.
It's a long, flat.
It's basically the width. It's like about 2 to 3 widths of linguine. It's all by width. But we make fresh pasta. It cooks up really quickly and has a nice flavor. Takes about 20 to 30 seconds or so.
To cook the pasta that quickly?
Yeah,
oh, wow. Well, it's fresh. Yeah.
So we're going to turn our scallops. And you can turn your heat down a little bit so you don't have any flare-ups. And we're going to add our Mizuna. This is the last thing you're going to do before you add your pasta. So one added at the end so it stays nice and fresh, just slightly wilted. And we're going to shut our heat off, drain our pasta. Add it to our sauce. Just give it a little shake. You want to coat all the pasta. And by having your pasta folded all the same way and the same length, it allows you, when you put it in your water, as long as you don't like really vigorously mix it, it stays kind of together. So when we plate it, you can just pick the whole thing up at one time. Okay. And it'll all stay together.
That doesn't hinder it from cooking when it's all together?
It's so light and airy that the water gets in between. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our pan over to our dish. I like to find the center, make sure I have all the pasta. If you don't, you just flip the one over so you see you have everything. And then you hug the side of the pan. Just twist.
Wow, there's a real science to this, huh?
It works most of the time. And since I have 5 scallops, I put 5 tomatoes in, just for plate presentation. So I'm going to switch burners. Just going to bring my sauce down a little bit more. As you can see, our scallops they're about medium. I don't like to cook them over medium because they're just a little translucent in the middle. Okay. So what we're going to do is take the shell side. If you can imagine the scallop in the shell, right? It's got the curve. You want the wide side of the scallop facing you or the customer. Okay. Just for better looks wise, makes them look a little bigger.
Is this a seasonal dish?
This has been on the menu for quite some time. There's a few, we've worked in a few different variations. Yeah. But the scallop is one of our best sellers, the scallop itself, and we just kind of change the setup as we go. We have a really good, our fish supplier is very good on keeping us with the largest scallops, and they're always really nice. So we just like to stack as high as you can get it. Doesn't have to get, and just drizzle a little bit of sauce on until you see it start to fill out in the plate. Drop some of the truffles on top.
That looks amazing.
And I always like to garnish with a little crushed pepper. There's your diver
And that's
scallop.
it. Voila, your diver sea scallops.